Welcome to Finger Warm-Ups Video 1. There are 3 videos and there are 30 exercises altogether. I've called the exercises Level 1 right up to Level 30. Keep practicing these finger warm-ups every day and see if you can get to Level 30. Have fun! First of all, we're going to do a scale warm-up. A scale exercise. So we'll put our thumb on middle C in the right hand. Our other fingers will be on D, E, F and G. Starting with C, we just go up the scale nice and slowly. Now you might be thinking, but that's easy, I can already do that, which is great. But can you play every note exactly the same length and exactly the same volume? That makes it harder. While you're playing, keep your wrist really relaxed, like this. It should be nice and floppy and relaxed. It shouldn't be stiff. So nice and relaxed in your wrist, and when you move your fingers up and down independently. Don't move your whole hand up. So don't move your hand up and down like this. Move your fingers, but keep your hand still and keep your wrist relaxed. You should be able to move your wrist and bend it nicely like this. Keep them all the same length and all the same volume. And if you find that too easy, you can always try it a little bit faster, but you still have to keep them all the same length and all the same volume. And you still have to keep your wrist relaxed. So that's the first one. Now we'll do the same thing with our left hand. Can you see which notes we're going to play? So it's C, B, A, G and F. Doing the same thing, keeping that wrist relaxed, moving your fingers and not the entire hand. Keeping all the notes the same speed as each other and the same volume. You might find that 2 fingers go down together like this. Or maybe they sort of stumble like this. That's because if you haven't done this a lot, or if you haven't done it before, the fingers haven't learnt to move one after the other yet. So don't worry, just keep trying and eventually you'll be able to do it just like this. If you need to practice that a little bit more, why don't you pause the video? Next, we're going to do both hands at the same time. So we'll put both thumbs on the middle C and we just walk the fingers up so they're moving away from each other, and then the notes are coming back towards each other and meeting in the middle. Because the notes are going in opposite directions, they're moving away from each other and then towards each other. We call this contrary motion. There we go. So those were all scale warm-ups. Scale because you play one note after the other without missing any out. Next, we're going to do an arpeggio warm-up. So an arpeggio warm-up is where we skip over some of the notes. So we're going to play C, then we're going to jump to E, and then jump to G. So which fingers will we use? It will be 1, 3, and 5. So well done if you already knew that or you worked it out very quickly. So this is not called a scale, this is called an arpeggio or a broken chord. It's a little bit harder than the others. You still have to keep that wrist nice and relaxed, keep your hand up a little bit. Still try to move your fingers rather than the whole hand up and down. And still try to keep all the notes the same length and the same volume. If you need to practice that one a bit more, pause the video. Now we'll do the same with the left hand, but what notes are we going to play now? If we start with the thumb, it's C, A and F. So well done if you work that out. C, A and F like this. And I think you know what's coming next. Both hands together, so both thumbs on the middle C. Now this one will sound a little bit strange. Again, it's contrary motion because the notes are going different directions. They're going away from each other and then towards each other. They're not going in the same direction. It does sound a bit strange, doesn't it? But that doesn't matter because we're just using this as a warm-up for our fingers. Try to make sure that those notes are absolutely together. What we don't want is they have to be absolutely together. Okay, we'll finish that one. And if you found that a little bit too easy, you could try again, but a bit faster. Pause the video if you need to practice it a bit more. Okay, let's try something harder. So this time, we're going to go back to the arpeggio idea, where you're missing a note out. But instead of playing the C and the E one after each other, like that, we're going to play them at the same time. Try to get both notes exactly the same time. Remember to keep that wrist nice and relaxed. The distance from the C to the E is called a third, because if you count the C as 1, 1, 2, 3, when we count up, when we get to the E, we get to number 3. So if I start on the C, 1, 2, 3. So we call that a third. They sound nice together, so we call that harmony, because things which are in harmony get on well together. They like each other. Like when we live in harmony, that means we like each other and we get on well. So these notes are in harmony. Now see if you can do the two notes that we missed out when we did the arpeggio. So that was D and F, which will be your second and fourth fingers. They sound nice together, so they're in harmony. And again, they're a third apart. So if you count the D as 1 and count up, 1, 2, 3. You can hear that is, you can see that that is a third. Now go back to the first pair of notes, which was C and E. Back to the second pair of notes, which is D and F. Just go backwards and forwards between those pairs of notes. And as you get better at it, you can start moving more smoothly. Try to make them the same length and the same volume. Try not to let this happen. Try to get those notes playing at the same time. quite a hard one. Okay, let's try that with the left hand. So the first two notes of the arpeggio were C and A. We play them together. They make a nice harmony. And as before, they're a third apart. 1, 2, 3. We always count from the lowest note, so it's 1, 2, 3. Sometimes you might find that it's difficult to play those two notes without the other fingers going down as well. You might find that all the fingers want to go down, but don't worry, it just takes a little bit of practice. Now see if you can go to the G and the B. Let's go back to the A and the C, the G and the B. There we go. Now this is actually very difficult, so I wouldn't be surprised if you found this a little bit too hard for the moment. So don't worry if you do find it too hard. You could always miss this one out. Okay, let's try both hands. So if we have both thumbs on the middle C, and then the third finger at the same time. So in this hand it's going to be, and this hand it's going to be, but together. I'm actually only playing 3 notes because one of those notes is being played by both thumbs. Now this hand is going to go to D and F, this one's going to go to G and B. So now I'm playing 4 notes. Sounds quite nice. Let's go back to A and C and E. See if you can move to the other one. This is quite hard. Oh, it's probably a bit scary. Trying to think about all those fingers and where they're going to go. Shall we go up a level? Let's try the next one. So we've done C and E together, D and F together. Now let's use the last 2 fingers, that's that one, and we've got E and G. Back to the D and F, back to the C and E. Same with the left hand. And you know what's coming next, the really scary bit, both hands together. Well, that sounds nice. Trying to get all the fingers moving at exactly the same time.